If you can see it in your mind, then it's already real. But the mistake that you're making is you're visualizing and you're picturing it as a future event. The main point of visualization is not to see something in the future, because really and truly, the future doesn't exist. When you're visualizing, you have to picture it as a present event, something that's happening right now. And that might sound weird because when you're visualizing, you might be sat on a chair or you might be laying in bed, but genuinely, whatever you're seeing in your mind is going on right now. 3 dimensions, you have to go through time, you have to move through space. But in the fourth dimension, your mind is completely free. If you want to picture a yellow hippo right now, you can picture one, even though they don't exist, right? In the fourth dimension, they do exist, because everything exists in the fourth dimension. So with that being said, this is the best thing ever, because it also means that like what you want also exists, right? If you visualize in the future, it's the same thing as saying I will have this. By saying I will have, what you're actually saying is I don't have, because every time you say I will, you're basically saying I'm not. Detached completely from the future, detached completely from the past, because the past is only going to limit you and the future is only going to create the future, right? It's always going to put things off. And as long as you're saying one day, it's always going to be one day. You have to start to see your reality like a movie. And your life right now might not be showing you the movie you want to see. You know, when you open your eyes in the morning, you still got the same problems, you still got the same bills, you still got the same debt, you've still got the same business that you haven't started up yet, you still got all these things going wrong, bad relationships, whatever the case is, right? But you're playing that movie. The minute you open your eyes and you sign into your current identity, that movie is going to continue to play. And it doesn't matter what you do in this world, right? With your physical action, that movie is still going to play out. You might meet different people, but they're all going to have the same face. You might make a little bit of money, but you're going to go right back to what your normal is after a little bit of time. And you've seen this yourself. You know, you get a bit of money in your bank, within the next week or within the month, it's right back down to what it was. And this is the trap that a lot of people are in, because of their identity, and they've all accepted the 9 to 5 life, get a job, but at the end of the month you're back down to zero. Then you work it up again, and you're back down to zero again. It's all a lie. You can make as much money as you want to make, but you have to see yourself as that person first. It's not going to happen before that. A lot of people are trying to take action from an identity that doesn't allow them to take the action they need to take in order to get the thing that they want. If your identity is not I'm a millionaire, you cannot take the actions of a millionaire. It's impossible. All right, it's completely impossible. And it's crazy that we're not taught this, because genuinely think about this. If you don't see yourself as something, how can you act like that person? How can you ever expect to get the results of that person? It won't work. I used to literally struggle so much with this when it came to trading. I never saw myself as a profitable trader. I never saw myself as someone that could come to the market and make thousands of dollars in a day. So I never did. I always just continued to lose and lose and lose and lose. And it wasn't until I literally just went into my brain and just started to imagine myself as exactly who I wanted to be. In the present moment, right now, I'm making thousands of dollars, and actually vividly imagining me withdrawing, all of this money to my bank, that it started to happen, because then I have the software installed in my brain to then go and act it out. Now, going back to the point of the movie, everyone in it has already been rehearsing their scripts. They already know their role. So the people that aren't treating you right, it doesn't make sense going to them and telling them, treat me right, do this, do that. They've already been rehearsed based off who you are as a person. The reason why they're in your life is because who you are as a person has attracted them to your life. So I want you to really get this. If you changed as a person today, they would either change to reflect and start respecting you, or they would completely fall away, and someone else who will reflect who you are, who is the person you want, will come into your life. The reason why your bank account is showing you what it's showing you is because of who you are. Reality is a perfect mirror. There is a slight delay because, as I said, from the fourth dimension, everything's instant. You can picture yourself anywhere you want to in the world right now. But in order to actually go there, it's going to take getting an airplane or getting a boat, or I don't know, walking if you wanted to. I'm sure you won't be walking anywhere, but yeah, it takes time, right? So there is a little delay, and that's only because we live in the third dimension of space and time, where things age. As you are right now, you're aging, right? But your mind doesn't age. It can't age. It's your consciousness, right? When you're visualizing, you need to see the thing that you're visualizing as another movie room. You're in the movie theater right now, and it doesn't make sense you trying to go to the screen and change what's on the movie. You're already in the movie. You've already accepted everything that's going to be shown to you on that movie because of who you are. You need to be a certain type of person to get the ticket to go into the movie room that you're in, pretty much. So in order to go to another movie room that's playing a different reality, it is not a matter of hard work, because it doesn't matter how hard you work, you can't exit the movie theater. You have to see it as there's bodyguards at the door and they won't let you leave until you show them, I'm someone different. I'm not supposed to be here. The bodyguard is your identity. Your identity is not going to let you leave your current reality until you literally show reality, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, that you are no longer this person, that you're no longer broke. You don't deserve this reality of having no money, that you're no longer willing to settle for bad relationships. You want the best. That is the only way to leave. The only shift that needs to happen to move you to the new movie room where the life that you want is playing is literally all in here. If you've made a vanilla cake, right? This is like being in one movie room. It's already done. There's no point going to the cake and saying, why is it vanilla? Why is it vanilla? It's already done, right? You have to literally scrap that cake and go to the other cake. And now you don't want vanilla, you want chocolate, put some cocoa powder in there. But once you do that, you still have to go through the process of becoming the person who can be rich. And that is the baking time. As I said, things in the third dimension do take a bit of time. For some people it takes, a month. For some people it takes a year. It's all down to how much you believe. When things start to shift in your life, because they definitely will, are you going to stay the course? Are you going to continue to hold that same idea of yourself that you are rich? Or are you going to go back to the poverty? Are you going to go back to being broke, having bad relationships, whatever it is that you don't want right now? When things happen in your world, the moment you react to them, you're right back in the old identity. If you look at your bank and you see a number that you don't like, a number that's low, and you're thinking, I don't deserve this. You do deserve this based off what you've programmed into your brain so far. But in order to change it and change what you deserve, you have to continue to see that number as something different. And the visualization is what creates the belief. The belief isn't going to come from you continuing to live how you are now, right? The belief is going to come from you visualizing exactly what you want and knowing. The reason why you don't have the life you want is because you don't know the life you want. You know the life you have because this is the life that you've been experiencing since God knows when. So in order to experience a new life, you have to introduce that life to your mind so that your mind can start to act in that way and act as that person. That's the only way to do it. And the way you do it is you add pictures to your brain, you add feelings to your body, right? And these feelings are what you're going to embody, right? Embody means to take in, and then body, into the body. That's what emotions are. If you're embodying poverty, you're embodying being broke, that is exactly how you're going to act. You're going to act as a broke person. You're going to take action and not get any results in terms of, large amounts of money. This is why two people can start the same damn business, the same business model, everything. They can even start at the same time. One of them goes on to be wildly successful. The other one completely bombs it and then moves on to something new, right? And says, I need to change. This business model doesn't work for me. It did work because this guy made it work. The reason why it doesn't work for you is because you don't have the identity needed to make it work. Are you trying right now to be the version that you are? Are you trying to do the things you do on a daily basis, laying in bed, binge watching Netflix, or whatever it is that you're doing, right? I ain't gonna judge you. Are you trying to do these things, or do they just kind of happen? They happen. And that's because of your identity. That is the same thing that will happen if you change your identity to someone who's rich. You will just do things that make you richer. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, because the poor have a certain identity that is going to continue to make them play out that movie. That movie's just going to B-roll all the time, every day, right? It's even B-rolling in their sleep, because when you're sleeping, your physical body's asleep, but your mind is awake. The mind that you have when you're awake is the same mind you have when you're sleeping. The only difference is when you're sleeping, because there's no time, your mind basically does this and pulls different events that make no sense together. But if you were to write down your dreams and dissect them, you would understand that, there is some logical sequence to this. And that's a topic for another day. But you were given the vision because it already exists. It's not a desire. The only reason you're seeing it as a desire is because you've not connected to it. You're basically still creating a distance between you and the thing. But the desire, you have to see it as it's something that you're seeing in your head, right? Something that you're picturing about having one day. But you're understanding it completely wrong. The desire is not something that will happen one day. It's something happening right now. You're not dreaming, you're remembering. So when you're thinking about your desire, when you're thinking about the thing that's showing in your head, you've always wanted to be rich. Why is it that you have this desire? It's because it's already happening for you, bro. You just have to accept it, because once you accept it, you embody the emotion. The emotion's everything. You can't just visualize. This is another way people get visualization completely wrong. They visualize the picture and they don't feel anything. That is not going to get you what you want, because in order to act as a certain version, you need to feel like that version. And the way to create the feeling of being rich is to see it and feel it. You have to really connect to it. And the way you do that is by making it super real, right? What would you be feeling if you were living the life you want? You create one scene And that one scene, you create feelings within it. How would you feel if you were riding a Lamborghini or driving a Lamborghini, down Hollywood Boulevard, right? How would you dress? What would you be seeing around you? What would the weather be like? What time would it be? Is it the morning? Is it nighttime? Right? These are things that are going to add that sensory detail that's going to create the feeling. Once you create the feeling of reality, it's done. Your identity shifted. And from that point onwards, you will start to act as that person naturally. And, I want you to use this stuff. Don't go away from this video and just go back to doing visualization how you was doing it before, or not visualizing at all. If you're not visualizing at all, you have no power to create reality. And I'm not saying that the best people in the world who have accomplished the greatest things all visualize how I'm telling you to do it now, but this is the most conscious way to visualize. Some people visualize without even needing to sit down. Genuinely, there's people in this world who are always visualizing the life they want, and that's because they're positively programmed. And you will get to that point once you consciously program yourself by laying down or sitting down and choosing a time of the day to visualize. It's building a habit. As with anything, once you build the habit, it becomes second nature. You'll be walking around visualizing. And this is the point that you will be creating your reality, and it will basically be like you're not even trying. So if you want to learn more stuff like this, I'm launching the Creed Club soon. I've launched the waitlist. Go ahead, the link is in the description. Join that. Once you join, you're going to be the first person to know once it actually drops. And in there, we're going to be going through a bunch of stuff, man. We're going to be doing live calls every single week. We're going to be, going through financial stuff. So like the trading, I'm going to help you guys to understand that so you can actually build your income. There's no point knowing about all of this stuff, how to create reality, all this stuff, if you don't have a business model. And we're also going to be going through exactly the stuff that we're talking about on this channel, the mindset stuff. Definitely check it out, and I'm going to see you in the next video.